Hello everyone, my name is Kristina Brown. This is my last but one semester at UDSA. Thank you for listening to my final project presentation. I hope you enjoyed the ILT 5003 class as much as I did. So let's start. I moved to the United States in 2010 from Russia. I received my bachelor degree in economics from the Moscow University of Industry and Finance. During my college years, I was an English tutor for my neighbor's children. The main reason why I moved because I was looking for freedom from my parents and better life for myself. I guess I can say I was chasing the American dream like a lot of immigrants do. At the end of 2014, I joined the U.S. Army and served at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas, as the reserve unit as a culinary specialist. And I can say that my home is here in America. It has just been 6 years since I moved, but I still getting the same question where my accent is from and where my home is. And I can say that my home is here, in the US. I started to pursue the master's degree in January 2014 at the University of Las Vegas in Nevada. I was taking 3 classes, and one of them had a special impact on me, the multicultural education class that was taught by Dr. Christine Clark and assistant professor Dr. Haddad, who was moving to San Antonio, Texas as me. We learned about diversity, acceptance, and the importance to appreciate and respect other people, no matter what color or language they speak. Unfortunately for me, I was there just for 1 semester and I had to move to San Antonio, Texas. My concentration was not clear for me at that time. I knew that I want to receive a master's in education, so I spent a semester at curriculum and instruction and 1 semester at special education. And finally I decided to go for the early childhood education. To answer the question why am I pursuing my master's in education, I can say I'm pursuing a master's of art in education degree because I want to be a better educated person. First of all, I want to receive the degree for myself in order to be a better mother for my children and a professional teacher for the students in my classroom. I want to make differences in their lives. We recognize socio-political nature of education in our schools by understanding how it looks. It's a reflection of current socio-economic trends in society and closely tied into the communities they make up school district. District boundaries for these communities directly affect financial and therefore academic affluence of education. Past and present civil rights movements affect the socio-political decisions made in regards to school policies and structuring. In the past, it would be the reflection of segregation, but today is human rights movement and LGBTQ rights. According to Claudia Golding, more money than ever was spent for the students. However, the cost for the students has also risen enormously. This is a direct result of the formation of mass education system, which is produced by one-size-fits-all approach. This system iniquity builds. According to John Anion, curriculum and social behavior differ between socioeconomic classes. More absolute districts have higher quality education, while lower-income districts train students to their station in life. According to Angela Valenzuela, foreign languages often devalued in our current educational system, resolve the culture of the students who speak them. ESL students face many barriers in their education as a result of this mindset. Often the pressure is acculturated in order to succeed, which makes them struggling with identity and feeling towards the education system. And according to Gloria Ladson-Billings, one of the easiest places to see socio-political nature of education is an achievement gap between the white and people of color. In educational practices, how educational funds are distributed. They are actually creating the barriers for learning for people of color. This is a result of system that fits white middle-class males. How can we combat the social-political system of education in our schools? Here are some strategies that might help us. First, be aware and present in the discourse of education reform of current finding structures to remove system iniquities in the system. Second, introduce curriculum that includes materials from diverse populations, including people of color, women, and LGBTQ figures. Third, encourage students to use their own language in the classrooms and incorporate students' culture into the daily classroom activities. And fourth, put students using lessons and curriculum that will be present in more affluent schools, providing more student-centered opportunities. As a future teacher, I'm going to use the foundational educational theories with my students, particularly behaviorism, cognitivism, and social constructivism. As Poppert and Harold stated, when considering constructionism as fun and entertaining activity, and I absolutely agree with them. Learning becomes meaningful when we have fun. The same with students. They learn when they're having fun. Also, I want to use a token system with my students, reward my students with tokens and good grades for achievements and participation in my classroom. As was mentioned by Skinner, that reinforcement is a way to reach goal and learn will do something because of the reward at the end will make them happy. Reward doesn't always have to be the materialistic object. Some students have the intrinsic motivation. As Piaget states, cognitivism educational theory. By adding and escalating the difficulty of the information presented for the student, I'll use Vygotsky's theory of zone of proximal development and scaffolding. There is no way I will be able to use only one educational system because the values of the interdisciplinary teaching and learning core is transformative and connects all the theories into the perfect teaching methodology. And all our students are unique, and we cannot use the practice one size fits all. For the diverse students, I will use a cognitivism theory, what Piaget stated that learners are able to organize and relate new information to existing knowledge and memory. By performing these activities, I will be able to monitor the progress of the learning for the ESL students in my classroom and be able to implement the knowledge they've been learned in their native language. As Knowles and Vygotsky state, after they learn, they will be able to move on to more complicated and difficult activities. Also, by pairing the students that require attention and extra help with the students that are proficient with the material, it will build a stronger social relationship between the students in my classroom. Also, by making students talk and perform the activity in order to train their skills in language or social skills. And finally, by reinforcing the students, I will be able to receive the required results as Pavlov teaches in his theory. Simply applying all the different educational theories in everyday classes, I will be able to achieve the required results and success as a professional educator in my field. We live in a diverse society where we meet a lot of people from different countries, and a lot of them even speak different languages that we don't know. We also have a lot of diverse children in our classroom, so we have to address their diversity and being able to make them welcomed in our society. Here, let's look at the important piece of information related to cross-cultural perspectives that teachers should know when working in schools today is understanding other cultures in relation to your own. This includes creating non-racial classrooms, understanding others in relation to yourself, and integrating the curriculum by shaping it to the needs of the students in our classrooms. According to York, teachers have to set high expectations for all children. We cannot automatically assume that children of color are not capable of performing the same activities as white children. She states that teachers should not fall into the pattern of understanding children's potential simply because of the skin color. All children deserve to have teachers who expect and challenge them to be brightest and do their best. The second important piece of information is engaging in critical self-reflection and what does it take to be culturally responsive teacher in the diverse classroom. The suggestions were offered by Neta. She suggests to value the language and culture of the students we teach and their families, insisting on high-quality, excellent work from all students, also honoring families for their diversities and differences, and exemplifying a commitment to lifelong learning. In addition, I would like to add that teachers need to engage parents into the educational process. The diverse parents will be able to receive the knowledge from the teachers of their children and from their children as well, because the children are exposed to the different culture and language. See the adult learning that was structured by Knowles. Also, according to Neta, we also explore school and home life and conflicting expectations, collaboration for positive students' achievement, ways to remove barriers that inhibit learning, suggestions for developing environmental that foster high-quality education, multicultural education as a process, and the model of multicultural education that affirms all students. This approach is described in Vygotsky theory, where children learn from parents or other children who is fluent in language. I believe that family literacy and also school literacy is very important for the young children's education as well. Also, according to Leif and Wenger, situated learning is a general theory of knowledge acquisition. It has been applied to the context of technology-based learning activities for schools that focus on problem-solving skills. Knowledge needs to be presented in an authentic context, setting, and applications that would normally involve that knowledge. Learning requires social interaction and collaboration that will be used to the classrooms, and parents will be involved in the learning that does require technology use. This is my last but one semester at UTSA, and I just took the core class. It was a great eye-opening experience, great reading materials that are so important for the future development. There is a long way to go on the educational ladder. This course helped me to see the wide horizon around me and not only one dot in the distance. As the example in the reading, Moran described the history of interdisciplinary and how it began and has changed over the years. He described that it began with organizing knowledge during the Greek philosopher time of Aristotle. He influenced the idea to divide knowledge into three categories, which had theoretical, practical, or productive. They show that one subject is always connected to different areas of study, and with making these connections and applying them into our students and classes, we are able to create interesting and meaningful education. From this example, from the reading, I learned that we can make the learning fun, and by using the prior students' knowledge, incorporate new information, because the subjects have the connections. And my plan of action, the information what was received during this class is very valuable, and I'm planning to implement different learning theories in the classroom I'm going to teach. I'm moving again in July 2017, and I will have to find a job at school or a community college. But no matter where I teach, I will have to use and apply the same educational theories, and I'm planning to spread the core values of ILT that were introduced during the class: intellectual, transformative, inquisitive, critically conscious, ethical, and professional. As I mentioned before, the multicultural education class made me realize the importance of the differences. As I came from the different country, I brought the customs and traditions from my family I was raised, and I want to pass the language and the customs to my children. So for those families who migrate from different countries, it's very important and valuable to keep the cultural values. With the help of the teachers as myself, we will be able to do that. We don't need to know their language, but we still can make them welcomed and accepted. Thank you for listening.